Time to shine! Okay, we have Battlefield of Eternity, the next map, everybody. The first map of another best of 5 series. We're still in our lower bracket, so in this case it's the Donuts against the Flipping Mafia. Flipping Mafia lost in the winner bracket. The Donuts advanced to through the first round of the losers bracket. And now the two face off against each other, and it could be an interesting one. Now, there's a little bit of a, well, not a problem, but X-Ray isn't here when he played, of course, most of the qualifiers with the Mafia, but they had Hydra sub in several times already in the past when Shamzik was on vacation, for example. So in this case, he's playing the main tank role for them. So they are playing with a sub. But generally speaking, this is a pretty interesting match, because the Mafia, they had a decent performance, pretty much all of the qualifiers, they made it into the top 4. The Donuts obviously only participating in 3 qualifiers in total. Part of the reason was that their captain, Richu, was actually, he couldn't play because he had technical problems with his PC, apparently bought a new one, delivery got delayed over and over and over again, and therefore he never really played with them, so they only participated in 3 qualifiers, barely were able to make the 8th spot happen. And made it in the playoffs, therefore. So they are currently trying to get to the grand final through the lower bracket. But we're kicking things off on Battlefield of Eternity. Our best of 5 is good to go. And we're getting an insta-ban on Zarya, so no speed bubble plays with Garrosh here. Which is, by the way, pretty important that you do that against Lauber's team, because Lauber's team is the one that came up with that initially. Roughly. How long ago is that now? 2 years? 3 years? I don't even remember. Nano P with an early Liming pick. Hanzo was banned. Vala. There's a lot of targets, a lot of target bans against damage dealers in this first game. So with Nano P on Liming, we have first of all reset mechanic. We have poke against the immortal. And it's party time for the Donuts. A solid series. Solid series in their first round. Are we gonna get some kind of... Nah, probably not. I was for a second thinking we're maybe gonna see some Tracer here today. Every single time I see Ty in a game, I want him on Tracer. I mean, he's a little bit like Dino, and they honestly share, well, they shared in the past a pretty big overlap in regards to their hero pool. So both of them played Tracer and Zeratul a whole lot for the team. We had them play Vala as well. And yeah, things changed a little bit after that, but for now... who are we going for? Blaze and Malfurion. Okay. Yeah, Blaze and Malfurion. They're taking the Malf away now too. I mean, it's a little bit of lockdown in CC that they already have. If you get a good Blaze Ship propulsion and you come in with Malfurion plus Liming as follow-ups, then you're pretty much painting a bullseye on the target and you can try and take it down. And on the other side... it's all about like that Stukov. Every single time I see Urel, I'm already terrified. I think Urel is such an impactful character. If you have a good Urel player that can, like, you can control the positioning of the opponent's damage dealers so well if you're good at this. These Urel flanks that we are sometimes seeing are incredible. The Space Goat is just amazing. And we've seen that from a lot of the top teams. Team WAP, for example, had some solid URL plays. Of course, Chili Mountain, the qualifiers with Whoopi. I mean, duh, obviously. One of the best URL players out there. There's a Tracer pack. Despite the fact that we don't really have the opening that is screaming, Tracer, Tracer. They share what I said earlier and said, okay, one of the heroes that we just don't want to give you is Tracer. We don't want to deal with that crap. So we're going to ban her out just to be on the safe side. Yeah, and I get it. So, yeah. Okay. Now the double pick for the red team. Are we getting Lauber's pick already? Muradin! Candy Muradin. Yeah, the pedo skin. Want to have some candy. Tigers also. I mean, the only thing that is missing is that Muradin at some point gets a hero-specific mount, the white windowless van. With everything that's going on with Blizzard these days, I wouldn't put it past them. Tigers for Odin, and he can of course chunk not only the Immortal down, but he can also control the space around the Immortal really well with his build. And there's Tyrael, the double layer of defense with the Tyrael Sanctification and the Blazer's Bunker. I gotta say that Tyrael has some of the best skins in the game. It's always a hero that was never, like, honestly, Tyrael is a hero just I can't play him. It's, my playstyle doesn't vibe with Tyrael at all. But the skins that he has, ooh, he has amazing skins. Absolutely love the setups for him. Okay, the last pick, Ty. We've been talking about him. We had a couple of suggestions. Most of them banned out, and he goes for Hogger as the last pick. And off we go. We got our first map, everybody. Battlefield of Eternity, the Donuts against the Flipping Mafia. A best of 5 incoming in the losers bracket of the XCup Summer Playoffs. Let's go. Without further ado, BOE map number 1. First game in the losers bracket between Flipping Mafia and the Donuts. On the left side, we got the Mafia with Farlander playing Sylvanas. Ninope is playing Liming. Hydra on Tyrael, again subbing in for X-Ray, who has to work the weekend. Bishops on Blaze and Shamzik on Malfurion. On the right side of the map, it's Lauber on Muradin, going for the Dwarf, Skog on Hogger, Ixia on Stukov, Ty is playing Yrel, so they switched things up a bit, and Marlow on Tychus. Okay, let's go. Let's see which team is able to lock in the first win in this best of 5 and take the lead. Our 4-man at the bot lane, no shenanigans here. Also, the level 1 adjustments, Tychus with more mobility thanks to the dash not going into the grenade. And pressure against Hydra right from the beginning. They literally put him in the corner here, but he's able to make it out. I like the aggression though. This is something that was super fun to watch in the previous games of the Donuts too. That they are just incredibly aggressive, not only with the way that they play the game, but also some of the drafts that they YOLO'd out. The one with solo Leoric tank with double support and double damage behind it comes to mind. That definitely was heavily underestimated by the opponent, and then, of course, it ended very, very badly. It was the Donuts that just crushed them and dominated the map. They did it on Infernal Shrines. Maybe they're going to pull it off at some point in this series, too. We'll find out. The first thing that happens is that we have a bit of a 3-2-3 moment, apparently. So, yeah, Lauber with a quick pause right here. I'm not sure if we're having any problems with disconnects. I don't really think so. But the red team might have a problem because Bishops is now moving down to the bottom of the map. So there's a potential play by the blue team to come in and try to take some of these guys down. If they are able to turn this into a 5 versus 4 battle, then they could try and pull that one off. So yeah, there's a chance for that. Well, with that said and done, some of the adjustments, I mean, again, we've seen Dash now a couple of times, and it's not the first time that the talent was picked here. So our setup here with the run and gun is kind of neat. And generally also talking about some of the changes in the patch, not really a lot of the heroes that you can see right now have been adjusted, but it seems like the big takeaway is that Zagara currently isn't valued by the top teams any longer. Some of them experienced with Nazebo a bit after the patch came out yesterday. And honestly, they won 2 games, but it always felt that the Hardos, who used Nazebo, were always the favorite in the series to begin with, and nobody else picked Nazebo up afterwards again. He was banned out 1 time today, but pretty much neglected after that completely. Some of the changes that had an impact is that we've seen Morales being played, and also we had at least 1 game in which we had a couple of games with Deckard Cain. So, yeah. And we're back. So, these fuckers made me referee, so I had to actually unpause this whole thing. When the hell did that happen? I'm just sitting here talking. This is literally the job description. Now I have responsibility. Are you kidding me? I'm allergic against that. Responsibility, I don't like it. It's out of fashion these days. Responsibility in the first place is something that people don't enjoy any longer. Personal responsibility is totally out of fashion. So we're not going to start with that crap in Heroes of the Storm. Are you kidding me? I'm just sitting here talking. So Ty at the top lane is under pressure. Farlander is quickly dropping, and he could have dropped if the rest of the team arrived just a second sooner than that. But the whole idea was to go for the camp, and that backfired quickly. Instead, the red team is now really in trouble and might lose multiple of their heroes. But Shamzik is also not looking too good. They're trying to go for Skork, and that's Hogger down. Malf gets away. They try for X here. They try also to go for Tai. And with the roots already on the ground, I think they should be at least able to get one more kill. Malf is down. Stukov is down. It's a 2-for-1 trade in favor of the Flipping Mafia. Yeah, there we go. Level 4. They got it. So each team got 1 camp and a few extra kills on top of that for the blue team. We have with Sylvanas the Overwhelming Affliction on level 1 and also the Mercenary Queen at this point. So different approach for her than what we normally see in this game, so they could try and go through the side a bit more. Next camp is also being claimed with the objective popping up. You want to get those shamans on lane. So both of the teams are doing the exact same thing here, starting to make the play. And all the way up at the top, still a little bit of aggression here. They're trying to save, of course, as many of these Khazras for as long as possible. If you can make that work, then there's more pressure against the wall, and you could get some structural damage in before the Immortal even touches ground. But either way, now they have to make sure that they are defending and attacking the Immortals here. Obviously, Master Assassin has a level 4 talent kicking in again, looking for that passive increase. That also benefits Odin, by the way. It's one of the main reasons why you're getting it in the first place. So it's not really about the quest reward, it's all about the attack speed. And that benefiting Odin is a huge plus. So, we have Hogger just poking it out at the oh, that's a stun, but can they follow up on that? Malfurion is trying, but there's no damage dealer around that could put the pressure on Stukov. They're still trying though. But yeah, there's way too much support for them. So both teams are getting solid damage in on the Immortal. It's a halftime show that's pretty even. 600 hit points of advantage for the red team. Nothing to write home about. So now everybody else is just trying to lock that in. Muradin, yeah, interrupting them for as long as he can. Who's gonna go for the victory here? Seems like the red team has a good shot at winning the first one. And indeed they do. 1,400 hit points are left on the shield. But the fight isn't over yet. The Immortal might be caught, but the fight is by no means over. Instead, they're chasing them down hard. The Stormbolt connects with Malfurion. Shamsik! Oh, the kill! Hogger gets the kill together with Stukov, and they follow it up with a second one against Blaze. Nicely done. As the Immortal pushes the bot lane and level 7 kicks in for the Donuts, we're going to take another look at that double kill. They control the choke point, as you can see. They lock Malfurion down. He has no chance of escape, and then afterwards it's a follow-up on Blaze. So 2 kills in that encounter, and it leads to the pressure play at the bottom of the map as they're attempting to take the fort down. This is a 3-hero play that they're executing here. The other 2 are at the top. Lauber sticking around a bit longer. And they take the fort down. Frame perfect. Down to the last hit point here. Even a bit of damage against Hydra. Damn. I'm gonna try and get the kill. They might even be able to pull that one off. Lots of damage against Hydra. 19 points. The Stormbolt. The rotation of the top was coming one way or another, so it turned very quickly into a 5 versus 3. But that Stormbolt was on point. 4 kills to 2. The Donuts, they pull ahead. They take the first 4 down. They open the wall up at the top side. And for now, damage output 10,000 for Hogger, nearly. It's really being that excels at the damage numbers, but that doesn't do a lot for you if you can't follow it up with the kills. They're trying to go for bishops again. This time it doesn't work. They're able to sneak their way past them and move out. At the bottom, Skork against Nenopi, and another camp, of course, coming in. And Skork needs to be careful. That could be a problem for him. Nenopi is eating a lot of damage here. Yeah, but Farlander came in too, so they're defending against this without any problems. Now, the leading experience might... Well, first of all, I don't think that level 10, the gap... Yeah, that's another kill. Now it might change a little bit. With them getting another kill and widening the gap, this could be a big problem for the Immortal. It's of course only a small increase in the experience advantage that they have, but with the Immortal spawning in 18 seconds, there's a good chance that with an early level 10 you are able to lock in the halftime show. Probably not being able to do more than that, but the halftime show, that's already a win. And there's the shockwave now, and they should be able to take someone down up here. Everything's missing though. Hydra's juking out everything. He's still alive. They still try to go for him. And finally, the Space Goat makes the jump and takes him down. The explosion hits. Sylvanas is pushing the bot lane. Farlander is doing work here, going full-on siege damage mode on them. But of course, as pointed out, with level 10 abilities, the halftime show is more or less theirs. They can just lock this in now. 6 kills, 2-2. 15 stacks for Hogger. And Marlow is at 5 stacks on the Master Assassin. He has a lot. I don't think we've seen a completed Master Assassin yet today. We got close a few times, but nobody was able to get the whole thing. So they take their camp, the only team that takes it. Donuts didn't have enough time as the Immortal spawn. And we get Judgment, baby! Yeah, Tyrael is ready to judge people. Yeah. He's gonna judge Hogger. You haven't showered in ages. Guilty. Okay. Top lane, Nenopi still poking. Liming is awesome in that sense. If you have a long drawn-out battle about the Immortal, and she's great. But now they are focusing on the Immortal at the bottom. They're really going for that. So, yeah, here comes the GOAT once again. Where's Judgment when we need it? So far, no, gets interrupted. Yeah, I was channeling up, but got stunned out and interrupted. Instead, they're now trying to go for Urel in the back. But she pops the ult. Nicely done. Hydra coming in and kills Urel with the help of Li Ming. Putting the bullseye on her and they take her down. You are accused of hopping around too much. Guilty as charged. And she's dead. 3 kills to 6. And they are looking for more, but they might lose a feud. Oh, that's a problem. Nenopi, if he gets the resets. Yes, 1 down. Does he get another connect? No. Nenopi with some decent resets could absolutely pop off here. Didn't go into dominance on level 4, but boy, that was scary for a moment. The donuts all dropped low. That could have been multiple kills against the red team. They only got, at the end, Hogger as the follow-up. Stukov is already back, but the top fort falls anyway, since the Immortal, of course, was taken by the red team. But the potential with Li Ming is insane if you get those kills. And the interesting part now is if you get Judgment with a follow-up from Sylvanas Wailing Arrow or Malfurion with a good root, the target is just locked into place and won't be able to use any escape tools to get away, in the case of the silence from Sylvanas. And then Nenopi has a very easy time getting his skills connected. If that's enough damage to net them a kill, that would be pretty solid because those resets can ruin a team fight very, very quickly. It's nearly even experience. Again, talent advantage obviously with that half-level lead that they have here. They're trying to go for Nenopi, but he is not falling for that shit. Nope. He's ready. So he's just sitting over here and saying like, not seeing you in the minimap, gave that away already. I have the minimap DLC, I downloaded the add-on, I got the minimap, so yeah. Nice by Blaze. I like that. They really wanted him, but Blaze Hearthstoning away, so he got the memo too. They're rotating topside. Take the camp and get out of there. No advantage for the Donuts through the talent lead, so they can't translate that into a kill or two. They desperately tried. They roamed the entire map in search of victims and they didn't find anybody. Now both teams have level 13, so it's even talents again. Bishops already all alone. Jet propulsion doesn't connect though. We have with 13 the Remorseless kicking in. Also the Illusionist, great of course now for Nenopi. That's a fantastic talent to just give you a little bit more safety in general and help you out with those engages. So the quest completed for Blaze also means that he has a couple of unstoppable frames to rely upon whenever Mirrored In comes in with a Storm Bolt or the Shockwave, or if Hogger gets YOLO'd out. And this is probably one of the best situations now for the Mafia to try and lock in an Immortal themselves and bring it back a little bit. So they have to work on this one. First game in the best of 5. We're still talking about who's taking the lead in this series. A lot could happen here over the potential 5 maps that we might see. And good luck down against Tyrael already. He's looking for a Judgment target together with Li Ming. And they are pushing them back. There's a bit of damage that has been done against the blue team's Immortal. Still 1 level lead. They're just poking this out. I like what Urel is doing, though. She's pushing out the bot lane even further. And she's a bit late to the party. That's one of the reasons why they also fell back in a more defensive stance around their own immortal. But that means that the bot lane is now going to get attacked with that catapult that they pushed in. Oh, talk about getting attacked! Hydra gets attacked, but Muradin is the one that gets blown up! Judgment! Oh, he went for the big Sudoku here, but didn't even die. And now it's a 5 versus 4. Muradin down, yet no chance to even pop Avatar. Lauber turns into Lulber, and he gets focused and dies. And now they're zoning everybody else out. Oh, that's the way to get back into the game. That's what they gotta do. They're starting things up at the Immortal. Red team is moving in, trying to limit the damage a little bit. But nope, halftime show is theirs. So the blue team gotta focus again. Muradin is back to business, but they have the lead. They have the lead by 7,000 hit points, and now they need to try and burn this down as quickly as they can. But the red team is ready. They want the fight, and they're coming in for it. Already, Stukov trying with the lurking arm here. Oh, blah. Blaze, bunker is up. Stun into the wall. Bishops! He's in trouble, and he's down. Bishop's down. Are they going to lose the Immortal after all? That's the question. Stormbolt connecting with Hydra. And yeah, it's getting a bit tricky. Marlow is pew-pewing against the Immortal, scratching it a little bit. But the blue team hasn't given up on this one yet. No, they have such a big lead that they say, guys, we can still do this. Let's try and look for a kill here. Urel hopping in. Stormbolt Judgment. They're turning it on Urel. She still has the ult out. Could use it. Yeah, Hydra also needs to be super careful. He's in the middle of the opponent's team as Lauber is dropping low in HP. Has the Avatar over already. Malfurion dies. And the Dwarf jumps out. It's a kill on Tyrael. They get the double kill. Level 16 talents are ready for them. Sizzling attack is ready to go. And they pop Liming. No chance for her. And this is just disastrous right now. Sylvanas is falling too. They are farming them. Bishops trying to rush out. And this all happened without Tychus. Tychus was still going for the Immortal and won it. And this is going to be a staggered death on Blaze. He bunkers up again, buys a bit more time for them. But eventually he's going to fall. And that, of course, is a bit of a disaster. Because it's going to be a 4-man defense. He is wasting a lot of their time, on the other hand. Way more time than I expected. I mean, are you kidding me? Yeah, he's gonna fall. Look at this. And now, at the bot lane, the Immortal gets defended against. Yeah, the donuts, they chased a bit too long. That was well done by Blaze. It was way more effective than I expected it to be. But there's still, of course, damage that gets dished out. This time it's at the top. So here we go. They're moving in with the wall. They destroy it easily. 12 to 15, 3-level advantage. And here we go. Nenopi again getting attacked. Judgment against Lauber. Yeah, you have been accused of being short. Guilty. So, Lauber, he's getting away, but that keep doesn't. Bot lane keep is also under pressure. The one at the top is gonna fall if Marlow continues to poke with his Odin. And yeah, the Mafia, they are losing ground by the second. They also lose Malfurion. Another bunker. I mean, he is going full bunker mode on this. But Blaze is dead again. And as they go for the core, we are likely witnessing the first victory for the Donuts in this best of 5. Space created by Ty. He still has his ult. Uses it. The shield's already down. The core is losing hit points. Nenopi gets crushed by Muradin. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be game. Yeah, well, maybe not. No, they're moving out. Ah, they lost two as well. So they're still looking for kills. I expected them to try and take the core down a bit more. But nope, they didn't do that. He could have maybe taken down the keep at the bot lane. They have a 2-level advantage on the other hand. So that's pretty huge. 11 stacks on Tychus level 4. Master Assassin, 4 more kills and it's completed. That's the real reason why they backed off here. Because they just said, why would we end the game? We're so close to completing Tychus' quest. Let's go for that first. 38,000 damage on Tychus and on Hogger. 33,000 on Urel. Sorry, on Malfurion, and Urel has nearly as much. If you look over to Li Ming, she's at 64k. Like, the damage numbers are actually impressive if you think about it. We have 23 kills in total. And another immortal pops up. They still got a chance. It's 16 versus 16 talents. As weird as it may sound, they still have an opportunity to turn this around, but I think that one just exploded with Sylvanas getting murdered. Absolutely murdered. Tychus just crushed her. And now Malfurion is dead too. Yeah, that's gonna be the end of it. There is no way you're recovering from this. Especially with level 20 now also kicking in. Already we got Hoga using his ult to just bounce between the targets. There, he completes it! 70 minutes and 17 seconds and Master Assassin is completed. He's not gonna get any value out of it, but hey, he's done it. So Marlow with a quest reward on his level 4. And now they're going for the core for real. 27 kills in 17 minutes. And the play for game, the 1-0 lead in the best of 5 in the losers bracket of the XCup Summer Playoffs. Yeah, they're taking it. Nicely done. Still a bit of pressure on the bot lane against the red team, but that's not going to be of any consequence. Bishops with the 70 HP. Spray game, not really on point, went for the traditional standard. But there we go. Game 1 goes to the Donuts. GG. Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV. Infernal Shrines, map number 2. The Donuts with a victory on the first map. The Mafia went for first pick, first ban as we're heading into game number 2 of the best of 5. Yeah, it was a solid performance, and of course it snowballed a bit towards the end. Donuts taking full advantage of a lot of this. Maybe a little bit overly aggressive also on some of the picks that we saw. That judgment combo that they were trying to execute. It worked honestly once or twice, it worked really, really well. But then again, in most cases, it didn't really seem that Tyrael could make enough of an impact there. And the Donuts also coordinated quite nicely. Then again, there was this one fight where everybody on the Donuts was super low on HP, and if Li Ming is just somehow able to move in and get more resets, that could have changed everything. Not trying to put it on Li Ming, by the way. It ended up being top damage, if I'm not mistaken, and got some nice kills too. But Li Ming can be an absolute game changer in some team fights. If she pops off and gets a lot of kills, resets, and just continues the trend, then you can flip the fight very, very easily. Then again, the control of the objective was nice for the Donuts, so they did a good job there. Now that we're heading into Infernal Shrines, Stitches banned, Zarya banned, Medivh banned, also some soft bans against any kind of hyper carry play. So these Vala setups that we sometimes have with the Zarya are being shut down, and it's Nenopi that locks in Vala anyways. AoE attacks are so good on Infernal Shrines. Yeah, incredible. They're absolutely fantastic. But okay, what do we get for the red team? I mean, this is another map where you have the option to go Blaze, Leo on the side lane. I guess Urel would also work once again. But given the fact that they already picked Tychus on the last map, I would say if you pick Tychus in Battlefield of Eternity, then you want to also lock him in on Infernal Shrines. Unless you have a completely different game plan. And apparently they do. We get Hoga again. So Hoga has been the priority on multiple maps for them. And we got a Nubarak. Okay, the Beetle. The Beetle is back, everybody. Garrosh and Stukov. I gotta admit that I'm always a little bit sad when we're heading into any kind of map and we don't have these nasty combos, you know, with Garrosh and Zarya together. There's just so many combos that are kind of nice when you see them work out, and just wombo combos in general. Back in the day, in Alpha, Judgment into Hinterland Blast plus the Orbital Strike from Nova. Those were the days, guys. Hero pool might have been a little bit limited back then, but those were the days. That's the wombo. That's the real wombo setup. And then when he came through with Gazlo, but obviously back then, how many heroes did we even have? I have no idea, but it seemed like, I mean, less than half of what we're having now. So Leo gets banned. That's actually the first Leo ban that we're seeing today, but makes a bit sense. It forces him also into a certain direction. So with Leo getting banned, that also means that you don't have an Entomb available. And there's the Tychus ban. I kind of expected him to be taken as the first pick, but that didn't happen. They prioritized Hoga higher, and now with Tychus banned, Still enough damage available. Could go for a couple of mages. There's another map we can lock some in. We had Khaldor's played once today. Not really successfully though. With Anna, that screams nano boosted mage. We get the rat. Junkrat is in. Okay. Alrighty. And the double pick for the blue team. What are we getting for Farland and for bishops? Bishops and Sylvanas is, by the way, still up too, so you can make a lot of plays with Sylvanas, and she's been played by a lot of the boys on the Mafia side, but we've also had her for the donuts, so that would be a pick. And ooh, we get a Greymane, nice. Greymane is popping up a bit more often lately, and I'm on board for that. Jaina, there we go. Told you, mage time. We get Jaina back. Nano boosted Jaina. Give me the ring, baby. Ring after a Nubarak stun, and then also Riptire on top of it. I mean, ideally, honestly, you go for the rocket right here. But let's go. Infernal Shrines, map number 2, the Donuts against the Flipping Mafia. Let's see who takes it. Game number 2, Flipping Mafia against the Donuts. We got Farlander on Vala for the blue team. They gotta bring it back and tie the series. Shamzik on Stukov, Nano P on Greymane with a viciousness. The big bad wolf is in the house, and he's playing on the same team as Red Riding Hood. Hydra on Garrosh, Bishops on the Haka. And on the right side, it is Hoga. Played by Skog, Marlo and Junkrat, tie with Jaina, Lauban and Nubarak, and Ixia on Anna, going for the grenade initially. So, can the Donuts set themselves ahead with a 2-0, or is the Mafia bringing it back on map number 2, forces the tie before we're heading into game number 3? We're gonna find out. Level 1, the body check. And let's go for it. Well, they're already checking Hydra, and that's a kill. The body got checked, and it's dead. So that's a nice burst damage setup from Ty, of course. That's where Jaina excels, even without the nano boost. And that's an easy kill. So the first kill is in. That means that the lanes are now being set. Top lane, we have a 1 versus 1. Down at the bottom, the 4-man rotation is now happening from the Donuts. Lauba is immediately driving a bit of a wedge between potential parts of the blue team, so they can't rotate here, and that is a strong position for the Donuts, at least initially. In the early game, having that rotation is pretty neat, and Jaina is of course also fantastic for not only wave clear but also camp clear. Later, even better, but even in the early game, just through the Blizzard alone, you're getting some solid damage in, and you can help to clear the camp faster, which can allow you to go for a second one very, very quickly. But they are attempting to interrupt the attempt to get the camp on the left side. Then again, it seems like Lauba has overstepped just a bit. Yeah, he gets a stun out, doesn't connect, but for him it was just important that he doesn't die, because that got spicy. Once that Stukov dropped the lurking arm and Garrosh moved in too, that could have been the end of the Nubarak, but he's able to get out of the fight. Hydra and Shamzik, they're the two to lock in the Khazra camp. Still a bit of action happening here in the middle. But everybody else is now bot side, where we have the second camp coming up. Hydra is moving in, and Dehaka is also joining. Misses the drag. They interrupt on the lurking arm, and now they're in trouble. Hydra again isolated, and he might die for the second time. His body, the ragdoll, gets absolutely murdered and kicked across the map as the blue team loses Garrosh for the second time. And Garrosh is not having a lot of fun here. He's getting pretty much manhandled whenever he steps out. Doesn't stand a chance here. We got Bishops and Skog still locked into their 1 versus 1. Lauba is, by the way, trying to help to protect the Khazra camp so that he can do more damage against the wall. Farlander is dancing around it and hoping to get him low so that Garrosh can move in and drop him. But Lauba is already there. There's a flip, and he's dead. Yep, stayed a bit too long. Didn't really see Garrosh coming, which I guess was the plan in the first place from Garrosh. But that's the first kill. So the objective is of course now coming up. Topside Shrine. Teams hope for level 7. Dehaka, he adds the global that they can use. But for the time being, it's all about level 4 talents. But Dehaka is attempting to change that at the bottom of the map. Junker is also still there. Good attack against him. But Greymane is also dropped very, very low. Stukov is with them, and it's turning into a 4 versus 4. Dehaka and Junkrat are still sitting at the side lanes to get the experience for the next talent. But besides that, everybody is already on the shrine. There's a nice jump. There's a follow-up. Oh my god. And they get the kill. Nice. Well done. Greymane gets crushed, but he's paying the price for it now. Skork is getting some abilities through, but he can't prevent himself from getting murdered here. Level 7 now picked up by both teams. And Tai is going on level 7 straight into the Icelands. He's trying to get the Q through a little bit more. Frostbolt or Frost Shards on level 4. But now it's a 4 versus 4 on the Shrine. They're trying to go for Hydra again. Flips it again against Lauber. And they're burning both of them down, I suppose. Hydra, is he going to get away? Oh, 38 HP. 38 HP, and he goes out of the fight without dropping. But Anubarak is the one that died a horrible death here. So now the Mafia is not only getting kills, but they're also getting a much better position on the first objective, and they're getting this one. Everybody else is rotating into the mid lane already, abandoning the Shrine and just saying, well, might as well try and get some experience on lane and take some of the structures down if we can. Hogger in particular is doing this at the bot lane, and I suppose it's the end of the first tower at least. But that's a bit unfortunate after the great start that the Donuts had. So now the objective will be locked in by the Mafia, and the only question that remains is how much damage can they do with it. It's a Mortar Punisher, so not really the strongest one or anything. And with that, they're now going through the top. Right here. So let's have a bit of a look on how much damage they can really do. The side lane is opened up because they're attempting to engage after the Punisher jump, which they couldn't really. But as long as you open up at least the wall and destroy the entire thing, as kind of win. The fountain getting dropped too, everything else is a bonus. If you get the fort, that's great. But even if you don't, you'll be fine. So with that said and done, in comes the move for the camp. So they're trying to steal that away. I kind of like it whenever a team is in a position where they're saying, okay, we're not going to get anything out of this anymore. Let them waste some time defending. We can go down and just get the next set on the map. So they try to go steal this away, but Hydra stayed too long. The idea, I like it, but they get the counter kill at least. Lauber is getting farmed here. And Skok is also under pressure, so that's 2 more kills. 3 kills against Lauber. Strafe comes in, there's the level 10. Oh, Jaina is dead, but Marlo at least survives. Anna is also down. They're crushing everybody. The Mafia got angry. The Mafia got really angry. If you invade their territory, they come through with everything that they can muster. They got all of the familia together here. Family, friends, uncles and aunts, and now they are just absolutely crushing through the donuts. They are eating them alive. 7 kills, 2-4. And the Mafia with Decimate on Garrosh at the level 10. They're invading the bot lane. They're trying to take Lauber down again. And he is dead once more. Damn. Sleeping with the fishes. And he's more in the Nexus than he's on the map at this point. He comes out, pops his head out, and bam, he's dead again. So they're taking the fort here, and they're just... what the fuck is going on? I mean, seriously. Are you kidding me? 10 kills to 4? They're feeding into them, one after another. The Mafia is on a killing spree. They are crushing it. This is getting ridiculous. They're now more than a level ahead. This game turned from, hey, the Donuts are off to a good start, to the Donuts are getting murdered. Absolutely murdered. Someone needs to call the police because there's a crime in progress. The next camp is taken on the left side, and it's... what? I mean, every single time that they just pop their head out in the attempt to defend the fort or any kind of structure, all that the blue team does is dive and take him down. They have a talent advantage. Virulent Reaction is in. For Garrosh, we now get the Blood Craze. On top of that, we got the Ferocious Stalker. And they are in an insanely good position. I mean, what? They have a talent advantage for the next objective. And they are aggressively invading with that. Yeah, Dehaka, the Bishops move in a little bit too deep. It's trying to bait them out. Shockwave connects with Vala, but it's the only thing. Bishops, there it is. The nano boosted Tai is able to get them a kill. Lauber is diving out the second that he gets attacked. He learned his lesson in the previous encounters. He knows what's happening. So at least the Donuts are bringing it back now. They step it up a bit. And they have to. I mean, holy hell. The Mafia is down 1 player. The objective is up. And, well, the Haka down for another 10. But of course, with the global, he can move in. They still need to play this out at the bottom of the map, but the problem for the red team is that they need to send Tai topside, since they will lose the fort if they don't. Someone needs to take the Shaman down. And with the Haka now tunneling in, it still means a lead for the Mafia on the objective. And we're talking about a Frozen Punisher now. So that bad boy is gonna hurt, and this guy is gonna march for the keep. The fort is already gone. At least there's level 13 talents on both sides, with the Icy Veins coming in. And we got the Smelling Salts for our girl. Yeah, Tai gets a bit more damage up at the top and tries to get another wave out. But the Haka is now moving in. With the global, he can always come back down. They got their own camp now. But there's even another Khaldor camp up for grabs. And you don't have to ask them twice. They're going to take this one. Might even provide division a little bit. No. So they don't want to dive too deep into enemy territory, so they're just going to let this go down by itself. The Punisher is... They don't want to follow the Punisher. If they follow the Punisher, they're going to run into the problem that it can be flanked pretty easily. Instead, what they're doing is they're attacking the mid and the top lane at the same time. At the top, they're doing it mainly with the minions that have been escorted in by the Haka, but down here, they are just setting everyone else into play. Lauber, bit low, has to use his cocoon. At the bottom of the map, Jaina's going for a solo defense. Great Riptire by Junkrat. Lots of damage, but not enough to get a kill, and there's no follow-up. So Jaina is still defending down here. And the keep, I mean, not only did they open the wall, the keep is taking some damage. And yeah, that is way more damage than I expected it to do. So we are talking about a 50% keep. No, Lauber, not again! Level 16. Lauber is getting crushed. The bug fixing of the Mafia is absolutely on point. Learn to code, baby. Here comes the strafe as they're locking in a second kill against Hogger. 12 kills to 5. The Mafia is going crazy. So much momentum. The pain train is coming, baby. And it's hitting the bot lane. They want the fort, the keep. Well, they got the fort in the mid lane too, so I guess they're getting both. Greymane in particular is just ripping everything apart once that he's in walking form. That's another one here super easily. How about that 5 times, by the way? 5 times. Comes back in. They need to take that keep down, though. What? No way. Ah, come on. Really? Garrosh dies, but even with the final hit, he's not able to take it down? Shamzik also falls, so now the Donuts have 2 kills. Oh. Oh god. That just feels bad. I don't know what to tell you. Now, on damage, 33,000 for Junkrat, 35,000 for Vala, for our girl. And, well, what do we get for that? Alrighty, so... At this point, Vala's just sitting tight down here. We got our level 16 abilities for both of them now. Manticore is in. Greymane also with a level 16, so he's going for the Executioner over here. Same time, we get the Northern Exposure, we got the Epicenter. It seems like the Donuts are starting to get a bit more aggressive around that mid-push. Now that they have even talents, they need to. They have to close that experience gap, and they're doing a great job going for Nanopi. And Greymane is down. The Wolf gets annihilated, so they get that done. Can they follow it up with a bit more? Now with the Water Elemental, they have some control here. And they're using it in the middle. Another stun, the Shockwave, and Hydra is down. The Donuts, they're all of a sudden bringing it back. Look at the experience. They're closing the gap quickly, and they also are closing the gap in kills. It's 12 to 9. A Shrine activating at the top, and they're going for the keep. They got crushed. They got kicked around on the map. They were 9 kills behind, and now in a really short amount of time, they just turned it again. The entire game is flipped on its head as they're the first team to take a keep down, and they're going for another kill. Shamzik gets attacked. He makes it out. The strafe, as everybody on the red team falls a bit low. Farlander is hoping for a kill, which he cannot get. But what is going on in this game? All over the place. The burst damage of Tai is finally being combined with those stun engages that we see from Anubarak. And whenever he gets that stun in Skok, he's following up with a shockwave. They have the water elemental to slow them down. The burst damage from Jaina, Junkrat chipping into, and that gives them the lead. Now, Dehaka, he is, of course, set to pressure the bot lane a bit further. The whole idea here is to create enough pressure that the keep falls, and the rest of the team is at the top already going for the next Punisher. And Dehaka, he can always tunnel in, and that's what he has to do. Well, that is enough. That's definitely enough pressure down here to make sure that they're going to get the keep eventually. And Dehaka is now moving in to do that. And they are going for the back door. No way. No way! And Nubarak, he's trying to interrupt the Hearth. That's not working. That's not happening. That backdoor is not happening. Dehaka should honestly have stayed at the bot lane a little bit longer, but he wants to get the drag in. Yeah, isolation is missing. Connects the drag, but even that doesn't work for them. And now here comes the potential hit against Dehaka. He gets boosted back in. Nano boost was also used. Bot lane keep is definitely gonna fall. Can they kill Garrosh? Yes, they can. Indeed, they can. He did not stand a chance. Riptire to the face, and that was that. And now, bot side, this keep is not gonna make it. But with 22 stacks against 0, the Donuts are attempting to reclaim the position on the shrine. But yeah, Vala pushes out the mid lane, and now it's gonna be 2 keeps against 2 keeps. There's even Fort still standing. I mean, it's only the mid lane that has struggled. So this one is down now. They're going for the next camp too. They can wait for Garrosh to come back again. Red team has to go through the top fort, and then they have to also go with the keep. Someone has to, of course, deal with the catapults. The minion wave will do it eventually, but they send Tai back just to be on the safe side here. Don't want to lose any points on the core because of catapults. It's not Winion territory yet. Level 20 closes in for both teams, and they set another camp up at the bottom of the map. They're actually getting all of the camps. The entire bot side is taken by them now. So they take the camps, they get level 20. It's going to push for core. It's not going to do a lot, but might do some extra damage. Farflight Quiver is in. We got the Deadly Calm. Both sides with a level 20. Top gets pushed out. Dehaka is still pressuring, and they also have a really nice setup in the mid lane. That's double Khazra plus Catapult. Yeah, that is gonna drop at least the wall, maybe a little bit more. And it forces the Donuts back. Donuts had a decision to make. Do we push and go for keep and core? Or do we fall back and defend? And with everything that the Mafia set into motion, they decided that it was just time to defend the lanes. So this is the easiest defense of their life. Mafia comes in and just guns it down. Wintermute now taken on the other side by Jaina. And it's a really spicy game at this point. Storm Talons for both. And everyone is looking for kills now. There's a pew 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 as they're checking the bushes. Hydra checks it again. Lauber already moved away from it. A lot of people, of course, playing with vision now. Mini-map control is everything here. Dehaka moving away too. There's only one global on the map, and the blue team is determined to make sure that they're getting use out of it. 56 stacks for Vala. Nothing insane. But she's still at 49,000 damage. So good for her. And yeah. Off we go. Bishops at the top. They have no vision. It's all about hiding vision. If you hide in vision the entire time, your opponent just doesn't know where you are. So you could be in any of these shrubs here. Could be hiding and trying to... That's why they're double checking pretty much everything. You hear the pew 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 from Ana the entire time. Every single time they approach any kind of bush, they immediately have to double check it. It's, by the way, impressive that both Vala and Junkrat haven't died in this game yet. We have 22 kills at the 7-minute mark, and both of them have not died even once. Bottom of the map, Bishops again, playing around the global. Obviously, we're talking about the shrine in the middle now. Uh-oh. Hydra is in a yeah, he's dead. That isolation play of Junkrat, that was perfect. And now they're going for Greymane. Cocoon was used. Greymane, he's dead too. He doesn't stand a chance. He's hoping for a counter kill, which he doesn't get. So now we have 2 heroes down, and they are going for core. They're going for core. They're trying to go for it right here, right now. It's only Stukov, Vala, and Dehaka that are still back. Yeah, the Mafia, they had such an insane lead, but here come the Donuts. They're trying to end the game. Can they pull it off? Isolation on the Nubarak. They can't get the kill. Instead, it's Vala that dies, and therefore no real damage dealer is left. The core has lost its shield. Tai is boosted, comes in with the damage, and they are gonna drop it. Stukov with a slap, slap, slap as he's trying to push them out. That doesn't do anything. Well, Jaina is dead and so is Hogger, but they should have enough damage, especially with the catapults, and yes, they do. 2-0, the advantage for the Donuts in the best of 5 against the Flipping Mafia. The third game, and finally we are on Dragonshire. It took a long time, everybody. Dragonshire is a map that I think this is the first time that we played in the playoffs. So the entire time we just had no Dragonshire, nobody played it. Now we have the Donuts with a map pick, and they have a 2-0 lead. That last game was crazy. Infernal Shrines, at the beginning you think, hey, the Donuts, they're again setting themselves up for success here. Then the mid-game starts, and all of a sudden they're just completely crumbling. And the Mafia takes kill after kill after kill. How many times was Lauber killed in the mid-game alone? Came back, dies, comes back, dies, comes back, dies. Like the entire time. And then they have that one push after they kill a few heroes, go through the middle, take the keep down, take control of the game again, and yeah, that's just all she wrote. So you gotta give it to the Donuts. When they focus and they line everything up, they are nearly unbeatable here. But they also have a couple of moments where they go maybe too aggressive and get punished for it. And then they get careless. That's kind of what happened. Now, Dragonshire is, of course, a bit of a different beast. We could see Rexa here again. It's actually one of those maps. There's a couple of heroes that I really like, that they excel on certain maps where they get so much value that teams will pick them there, but not on others. And I think this is exactly what heroes should be about. We have a lot of maps in the game, and I would absolutely love if we had more heroes that were very, very strong on a certain map and just still okay on others, but not as much of a priority. And that's kind of true for at least some maps. The bigger the map, the more of a role globals will play. Rexa unfortunately gets banned out though, so he has the priority here, but it just results in a ban, so we're not even seeing him picked. The man with the mask gets eliminated. Okay, so Anubarak again as our first pick, and the double pick on the other side. Yeah, you still want to have globals. We could see the Birdie, Falstad, Brightwing, both are still up. Both are possible picks on the map here. And we've also... I was wondering if they were thinking about maybe getting another one of these Tyrande combos in, because we've seen them do that a few times, and this was always a really nice map for a Mirrodin Tyrande setup. And Mirrodin is already taken. I'm not sure if they would really risk picking Tyrande here. But with Vala, they could go into a double support. And if they want to go for double support, then using Tyrande plus X, I think Stukov is most likely. Oh no, they go for Deckard Cain. And Nazebo, guys! Awesome! Okay, we have Nazebo in the house. Yes, he was really adjusted during the patch. A lot of damage now with the spiders, but most teams have still disregarded him after the first day. That leaves Stukov open. Now, the Mafia could ban it out, but I think there is a chance that we're seeing a double support with Tyrande, because if they really want to make Tyrande still work, then this is a good map to set it up. Back in the day, it was the map for Mirrodin and Tyrande. They roamed the map from start to finish. You were trying to get the interrupt also with Tyrande's Owl whenever someone channeled the Dragon Knight, but the idea was to just look for kills. And a double support with Vala is quite strong, so they could do it here. Stukov ban, yes or no? That's the question. That's the first question that we have to answer here. So, what do they ban out? Yep. The man with the big arm. And what does that mean for the red team? Double support, yes or no? It's always a bit of a risk. You want to have your top laner, of course. Want someone that dominates the top lane a bit and helps you to control at least one of the shrines. By the way, there's 3 solar laners. 4 that have been banned out. So Urella's left. So is Leo. And there's Brightwing. Brightwing by Marlow. It's gonna be a Tyrande pick, isn't it? I smell owls. It's time for Hogwarts. Hedwig, go, go. Well, Fallen and Bishops. Leo. Oh, Shire suffer. And Falstad. It's birdie time. A bird's the word. And Ixia is a Tyrande. Yes or no? I could totally see it. They played not this one before, but they tried to make Tyrande a thing on a few maps and combos, and it could work here. Double support Vala, plus Muradin, and they go Zarya instead. Honestly, I like this more. Again, I like Tyrande, don't get me wrong, but every single time she gets picked, I'm telling you the same thing, that I think she's a big liability, or at least can be. And I like Zarya a lot more for Ixia. And he already, I mean, again, he's a monster on that hero in the first place. So that's a really nice setup. I like this a lot more than what I thought about. So let's go Dragon Shire. Game number 3. Let's see if the Mafia can take it here and win a map. Let's go! Game number 3. The Mafia has to step it up. They already did a bit better in game number 2, but now in game number 3 they really need to buckle down, because losing another map would mean that they are out of the tournament. On the left side, Farlander on Falstad. They got the global. We have Hydra on Nubarak. Nenopi on Nazeebo, the newly changed hero with the level 1 Widowmakers. We got Shamzik on Deckard Cain. And Bishops on Leoric. On the right side of the map, the Donuts with a 2-0 lead in the best of 5. Skog on Brightwing, Laub on Muradin, Ixia on his Zarya, Tai on Urel, and Malo on Vala going into an arrow build. So yeah, Ixia, he didn't go for Tyrande here. I'm kind of happy about that. As much as I would have loved to see a good old Muradin and Tyrande combo roam the map and look for kills, I'm very happy to see his Zarya again. He already played it once in the tournament, and it is extremely good. Some of the ults that he pulled out in the first time that he played it were just incredible, so he's very strong on this one. And for now, we have the play for Hydra. Yeah, he's again on the receiving end of this. I think on the last map, didn't he die first on Garrosh? Yeah, I think so. They isolated him and went for him right away. But let's see what they can actually put off here. For now, that's actually nice stacks for False. Are you kidding me? 14 after the first minute? Damn. He lined them up perfectly. But of course, Nenopi and his Nazeebo, that's a total different story. So Nazeebo, the changes in general are focusing very heavily on the spiders. So we're going to see him use those a lot. It's all about slows, extra damage, extra spawns that you're going to get. And Nazeebo is getting tons and tons of damage out, but of course he offers a bit more to the team. So let's say a Nubarak engages with a stun and we have Nenopi in the vicinity. He can come in and also drop the zombie wall to zone them out even further, or trap the target, and then they can get more damage on it. So there's a lot that you can really bring to the team, not only the damage output and the wave clear that you have. He's of course a fantastic hero against structures in the first place, but you have a certain amount of CC that you can also use to help your team control the fight. And that's what they're going to try and pull off here. And it's really easy to get the stacks together on your level 1 as well. As you can already tell, he's at 48. And that's after just 2 minutes. Already double control, but not for long. On the shrines, that would have been a very early one. Yeah, they're going for Lauber here. Level 4, by the way. We got the defensive shielding in now for Zarya. Very different approach than what we've seen previously. The maximum charge on level 1. And at the bot lane, double siege giants. We have with Leo now the paralyzing rage. Now that Blizzard has changed things a bit in the last patch on Leoric's side too. Doesn't necessarily have to go for the Neil Peasants any longer. Mid lane pressure between the two globals. Obviously, Falset is the one that has to interrupt Brightwing from taking the Dragon Knight. That would be a very early grab on that. Nenopi still with the spiders here. He's also soon going to run out of mana, though, if he's not careful. Has 72 stacks already, on the other hand. And his level 4 is following up on that. So, yeah, duration increase kind of important. As you can also see, we got the Hex Crawlers in again. And they are crawling around everywhere. Yeah, Malo, he's of course now supported by Zarya, but in the big team fight, it's going to be Zarya and Brightwing. Oh, yeah, and he's making the Witch Doctor regret his life decisions. Stepping out of the gate was not the choice here. So, good stuff. Red team, very aggressive again. They want the 3-0 victory. They want to move on to the next round of the tournament. And no trap down here, but Deckard Cain at least can set it up. It's kind of nice to see Deckard a bit more often. Now that Blizzard buffed his numbers, we got the old geezer back to business. Shamsik still with the pleb horse over here. But yeah, Deckard Cain tell us stories and tales from the good old days again. The good old days when music was still music. And, well, hit him with a stick, old man. Yep, level 7 adjustments again. Oh, he's dead. No, maybe. Yeah. Zarya is the one to finish the job. 97 stacks on the Zebo, so he's nearly done. But any kind of Zarya setup is always insanely powerful because that 4-man is so difficult to stop and beat. And now they use it to take the fountain down. And whenever you're able to take a fountain on Shire, you immediately shift the focus of the map a bit. And of course tilt everything in your favor. Since there's no sustain any longer. Wow, he actually survived that. Holy hell. Hydra. But the fort is down too. Even just taking the fountain down is a big victory. But taking the fort is giving you so much control over the bot lane that it's super difficult for the Mafia to take back the control over the shrine, or hold it at least. Quest completed for Falstad. The birdie is sitting at 30. Yeah, and they are getting even more damage up at the top, but now that Bishops has retaken the shrine, they are still Gucci at least for now. Given the axe on level 7 for Muradin, we also got the frost shot in, so that's really nice synergy that they have with that. So Vala and Muradin working in tandem here to try and get more damage out. And they're also going for the camp. Lauber hops out, just to be safe. It's not really heavily ahead in experience or anything. It's a kill against 1, but taking the fort down at the bot lane is of course a big step towards victory. Mafia, they need their own synergy here. Level 10 abilities is next on the menu. We haven't seen a Dragon Knight yet, but with level 10 for the donuts coming into play soon, we could maybe see them grab one. Urel already controls the bottom. Now the camp comes in. They are going to crush another fort, aren't they? I am a little bit terrified here. It's a camp against a camp, granted, but there's level 10 abilities now. And they can definitely go through their top lane. Or at least try to. Or send someone in the middle and attempt to take the Dragon Knight. Bishops is sitting at the side, but they are still waiting for level 10, and now he is found out. Okay, they break through the wall, but it ends there. Unless Ixia is able to isolate them somehow. The birdie retaking in the middle. The interrupt has happened, so they won't be able to go for the Dragon Knight. And there's the heroic ability now for the Mafia. Gary or the Spirit? What is Nazeebo gonna go for? Old man again, telling stories. Well, actually, they could go for the Spirit once again, considering that they have also the Entomb. So if they lock anybody down, then the Spirit is gonna get a murderous amount of damage out. Then again, Gary is always awesome. So right now, Marlow under pressure, already trying to burn down the cocoon. Good ult from Deckard Cain, Ravenous Spirit, and there it is! There it is, but they're losing the Zebo nearly instantly after he activates his ult, and the red team is just crushing through this top attack. The Mafia losing 3 within seconds. Now the fountain is falling, and of course they're going to drop the fort as well. They are just doing way too much damage now. 21,000 damage for Vala. We got 17 for Leo, who's the top damage dealer for the team. Nazeebo is only sitting at 17,000 right now. Well, only. It's actually not bad. It's pretty good. It's not quite as much as we see for Leo, but it's pretty much nearly the same. So down here, they're still fighting this out, but I think there's a rotation from the mid lane coming any moment now with 4 kills to 0. They have a big lead in experience too. And here comes Vala with big hits against Farlander, Stormbolt, and goodbye Birdie. Yeah, he's dead, and now they try to go for Shamsik. There's a couple of spiders that are pissing them off a little bit, but Anubarak is dead and Shamsik is also gonna die. Can get himself a few potions, but that's it. The only thing that the Mafia has so far been able to prevent is the Dragon Knight from being captured, and that's mainly because Leo moved towards the top and retook, but it's a matter of time, because now nobody's gonna deal with Tai, and they're already sitting in the middle. So Dragon Knight number 1 is gonna be taken in just another second. We got 7 kills, 2-0 already. Marlow, who's the one that claims it, it's Vala, and Zarya is taking another Siege Giant camp here. 2 forts are down, 1.5 level lead for the Donuts. They're making a big statement here. in this series. They want to go to the grand final. They qualified late, very, very late for the playoffs, but they want to now break through the loser bracket and take down whoever finds himself. Actually, Team 1, because we already have them in the grand final. Another isolation attempt. Good attack. Trying for NOP here. Instead, they're shifting the focus over to Shamzik. He's low too. Dragonite is in the middle, trying to take the next fort down. The double camp at the bottom of the map with the Bruiser camp plus the Siege Giants is starting to break through the wall too. Level 13, any second for the Mafia. That's an extra talent. Ravenous Spirit for the defense. They're pushing them away as best they can. But now everybody rotates over. The Polymorph on Leo. Bishops in trouble. Gets the Entomb out, but dies a second later. Old man once again. The Geezer comes in and they get their first kill in the game at the 9-minute mark. They take Zarya down. Zarya's dead. Vala still intent to turn it. 18 stacks on the arrow on level 1. But it is Lauma that gets attacked. Brightwing with a save. Deckard Kane is dead. And Hydra is again rushing away. Gets hit by Rel's mace. And Ty wants to end it. Ooh, nice stun. But, I mean, again, how are you getting out there? There's the Polymorph. If he gets the perfect bro, then maybe. But now it's at least a kill against Vala, so that's the second kill for them. Nano P with some additional damage. Nizebo is working overtime. He's at 34,000. But they're still so low here. It's amazing to me that the fort is still active. So that one hasn't fallen yet. 10 kills to 2. Level 16 talents. And more camps, of course, on the map. So they're going all for control here. 70,000 siege damage for Nizebo. Look at the Elixir on the other hand. Zarya with 100k. 100,000 already as it stands. Yeah, we get the Seething Hatred over here. So, for that, the Critterize also in. And, yeah, it's a bit tricky now. Apparently, gotta pause the game here for a second. Maybe some technical difficulties. It doesn't look like anybody really dropped out of the game. But no matter what, they have more than a level that they need to bridge before they have their level 16 talents, and it's a bit of a disaster. We have 62 stacks on Falset. That's not bad. Of course, also the Voodoo Ritual here with 123 stacks. If he gets the 200, there's always a chance that they can bring it back in the late game a bit, but they've lost so much ground on the map that it's just so tricky to hold these shrines, because at the top lane and the bot lane, you still have the fort, you still have those fountains, and if your opponent has sustain and you don't, then it's just insanely difficult to keep the shrines, unless, of course, you take a big team fight and you're able to lock in multiple kills. If you're able to do that, then you can lock in a Dragonite. But you won't be able to find any sustained fights in the middle of the map if your opponent still can just move back a little bit by one screen, tap the fountain, and re-engage into the battle. And things are not looking good. They have trouble controlling Vala since she is fully supported by Brightwing and also by Ixia Zarya. And Zarya in particular is just crushing it right now. And he's at 31,000 damage himself. Look at Vala, she's at 36k. So the difference between the two of them is just a measly 5k. Then again, with the global, Brightwing is on the other side, but there's definitely more wave clear. We have the two camps now coming up through the top lane. But generally, this is not really looking all that good for Bishops and his boys. And this is a map they need to win. If they lose out now, then it is over. So we'll see. Maybe they can bring it back. First of all, whatever the technical difficulties are, they need to fix those. Well, apparently all that was happening there were a couple of connection issues. So some lag that got solved now. And with that, we have the move from the red team for the fort. This is just finishing what they started. Killing the few remaining hit points, and they drop them right away. So, for now, we have also the move down to the bottom of the map. Shrines are, of course, activating again, so if they can steal the camps away, maybe even put the pressure on the top lane by eliminating the Bruiser camp, they could go for the next objective, but the fight is already happening, and oh boy, everybody's turning into a pirate. And it is the blue team that loses 2-3 heroes again. These fights are just way too strong now. The donuts, they have to sustain to break through them, and that is a disaster. All the ults have already been used. The keep at the bot lane, it's definitely gonna fall. Maybe they can even go a little bit further on this one. with the siege giants behind them. You can see that Farlander's trying to take them down, but immediately Muradin is present too. So they are looking for additional kills. They can't get them, but they could get the keep. So this one is already dropped. And now with the shrines up again, there's a chance that they're just simply making a play for the Dragon Knight. But it seems like it's going to be a bit of a trap. And they are hitting it spot on. Oh, the birdie gets crushed. He went into the dwarf launch to increase the range, and that combined with Vala's damage did more than enough to give them another kill. And that puts into a 5 versus 4. That was fantastic. That was really, really good. Now, we have another Dragon Knight up for grabs, and they're going to channel that for free. Yeah. Urel, they're not even going for her at the top. X here, he's the one this time. And the only question that remains is mid lane or core at the bottom. And it seems like they're attempting to go for a second keep here. The bird is back. And Leo is... Oh, careful, bro. Leo nearly died. So they get some damage on Muradin as he gets trapped by the zombie wall. But the Dragon Knight burns through this very, very quickly. Good damage, though, from the Flipping Mafia. So they're at least willing to fight back here. 86 stacks by now for Nazebo. Sorry, for the birdie, for Falstad. He's really getting good numbers on this. But I don't think it's good enough to turn it around anytime soon. In the late game, if they can hold on to the game a bit longer and make it maybe to the 20-minute mark, we might talk about a different setup here. Also 160 stacks for Nazebo nearly. Good entomb. But they're just pressured all around. Fountain gets pinged, but they're not making the play for it. Urel popping the ult, and they're still sieging up here. Once again, Deckard Cain attempting to zone them. Brightwing in some trouble. The gust is used, but Leo is already dead. And now Lauba is jumping in deep once again for a better angle. He hits the Stormbolt, and they drop a Nubarak. That's 2 heroes down on the side of the Mafia as the Donuts are moving in. They're trying to go for another kill, and they're moving in for Nazebo. Pops the ice wall, is fully isolated and dead. That's the end of the keep in the mid lane, and likely the end of the game as 3 catapults are already locked onto the core. Falstad is the only survivor. Farlander is not going to stand a chance here, and the core is dropping, and it's dropping quickly. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a game as the Donuts advance to the next round of the tournament. Taking a little bit slow here as they're still chasing the birdie, but the first one to fall is Leo. That's it. 19 kills to 3. Decisive victory by the Donuts. A 3-0 against the Flipping Mafia.
Thank you everybody for watching the video today. I hope that you enjoyed the show and the commentary. And keep in mind that the spoiler protection that is going to run for the rest of the video is made possible by all the support on patreon.com. So guys, if you want to support my work, if you want to help me start new projects and keep the spoiler protection in place, please consider heading over to patreon.com/Khaldor. There's also a link in the YouTube description, and check that out. Thanks in advance, and see you guys next time with more esports coverage here on Khaldor TV. Have a great day.